If you look at it, last year was an extremely good year for investments in the power sector. You see a lot of transactions in the on the PE side on the power sector. But currently, if you look at it, not too many opportunities, or I would say that the opportunities are available, but the investors are a little bit wary about the sector, considering that a lot of challenges. One, in terms of project execution per se, because the availability of fuel becoming an issue. So the investors are a little bit more wary about investing in the sector because infrastructure is not, you can't look at it as one single sector. There's a lot of subsectors involved in it. So I'm just talking about power currently. And so if you, power has this challenge, and I'm seeing that a little bit of opportunity coming up, mainly because if you see that in the last 2 3 days, the environment ministry has cleared a few coal blocks, and that is actually sending a positive signal that there is going to be opportunity for getting further allocations and clearances, environmental clearances. So I would say that probably I think investors may going to be wait and watch approach for the power sector. Roads is some sector which is continue to see transactions. 3A did a big transaction in KMC. We guys, IDFC Private Equity, we recently, you guys broke the news in terms of actually investing in GVR. The deal is done. It's like the last few things you need to get completed. It is into the EPC come road holdco, because we believe that road is continued to be one interesting, attractive sector within the infrastructure landscape. Because we believe that there is so much amount of build out needs to happen over the period of next 5 to 10 years, and companies who are ideally positioned in this to take advantage are the ones which has a combination of EPC and BOT play. Because the margins on the BOT sector are coming down over the period of a time, the IRRs have come down. So in order to actually to be look at a project very profitable is if you have the EPC in house. So that's the reason for the over the period of last 2 3 years we look at various opportunities and decided to pick on GVR because we felt that he had the right mix of actually the EPC plus BOT. Then move on to the port sector. Not too much of an opportunity except for a couple of private sector ports who are actually going for expansion, looking for capital. But it's far and few that way. Airports, there is nothing much happening then because there's no privatization happening or new private sector ports and airports are not coming. So I would say that if you look at infrastructure, predominantly the game is going to be power and road. And power, if you look at it, is slightly more wait and watch approach till the environmental hurdles and execution track record of the entrepreneurs people want to see to get established before taking further exposure. Roads, I guess that continue to see a lot of opportunities for PE.
The kind of deal making that we're seeing in the power sector, especially in the last year and this year, can we say that we're kind of revisiting the telecom kind of euphoria in power?
Um, it's a if you look at it, I agree that the telecom. Sorry, they agree the power actually had a euphoria for the last couple of years, and that is just basically it's come from the fact there is a huge demand supply mismatch, and that cannot be met by the government utilities. And there is definitely more than 50% of the capacity is going to come from private sector, and these private sector players are not like the fly-by-night operators. If you look at the major capacity, where is it coming from? The top 10 corporate houses in India are the ones who are building capacities, whether you take Tata's, Reliance, Birla's, GMR's, GVK's. They are the ones who are setting up Lancos. These are the people who are setting up this capacity. And Adani has done a fantastic job in actually demonstrating that too, in terms of the projects getting commissioned over the period of last 2 3 years, and Lanco is adding projects, GMR is adding projects. So I would say that like it is not just an euphoria or like not like .com days. It is actually like there is a clear requirement of power and the huge demand supply mismatch. There is a favorable regulation to get market based tariff, and you have, and again there is a all favorable towards actually like creating more capacity. But what investors are actually like realizing now, it is one is announcing the capacity and getting a coal block, and the bigger challenges are in execution, converting the coal block license into an operating coal mine, and completing the projects with all the approvals and clearances. And that is where the challenge is. And probably I think that's the reason the investors are taking a pass now.
We see that the investments in power would be on the sidelines for some time.
Yes, I do understand that some of the deals which happened in the last year or were just on announced capacities itself, people are able to raise capital. There are quite a few examples in that space of that type of transaction. But as an investor, what we look for example, we invested in GMR Energy. That is our first investment in the fund in 2003, and which we swapped into GMR Infrastructure. We got an exit, and we reinvested into GMR Energy just about a year and a half back. We took about 2 years to go through the entire power sector, various players, their existing capacities, operating capacities, what the future capacities, what is the extent of the fuel tie-up, what is the capability of the team in execution, and the financial resources, whether as a group or as a parent, listed parent. So we looked at we did all this analysis, and we went back and backed GMR mainly because, again, there are existing operating assets of about 900 megawatts. There is cash flows which are getting generated, and the projects, there are a couple of near-term projects which are going to get completed. There is a gas asset which is going to come up in this year, and there is another coal asset which is actually like start construction way back in 2007. That one is going to get commissioned next year. So there is a lot of these are the things which typically you need to look for. That as an investor, to be on safe side, investing with a group which actually has a proven track record in execution, and second is in terms of supply fuel tie-up, and it is better that if you have some existing operating cash flows. I think just, and fourth important thing, which is I have not talked about the market part of it. If you have capacities where you have significant amount of capacity getting tied up with on long-term PPAs and some capacity available to take advantage of market-based tariff. So if you have that combination, then I think you are on the safe side.
Any thoughts on education that you have?
We are one of the first investors in the education sector way back in 2006 when we invested in Manipal Education. And I think till today, I think if you look at other strategic investment in the sector, as a PE investment, this is one of the largest deal. And we put 30, and capital also put in some capital, about another $30 million. So it's the still largest private equity transaction happen in the space. Having invested in Manipal for the last 5 years, we are looking around the next best opportunity in education. And we looked at every deal opportunity, and we found out there are a lot of challenges in those opportunities. One for us is like a lot of companies are in a very early stage growth, and which doesn't actually meet our risk appetite that way. Deal sizes are small. We realized, okay, we look at deals which is actually say even 20 million type of transactions. Typically our deal size are 40, 60 million deals. We decided to look at some 20 million transactions. Even in that level, the number of companies which are available to take that amount of capital is far and few. And it is a hard sector. A lot of investors are running behind education, and so that resulted in the sector is getting completely overvalued, and people as usual underestimate the execution challenges, because everyone talks about K-12 education, and they think that they can actually like go ahead and proliferate the market with like 100 new schools, but setting up each and every school itself is a big project. Right from acquisition of land and construction, getting it utilized, it takes about 4 years to stabilize that. You have to get the talent in place, and so it is managing. It's like what is again the same situation like power. Everybody announced plans, have 1 or 2 schools, and again thinking that they can actually scale it up to 50 to 100. We believe that it is not going to be possible unless we are looking for an opportunity where we could partner with someone who has already existing land banks across various markets and has a right partner in terms of managing the school, and we can come in as a financial investor. We are looking at that sort of a combination, platform type of a play. And all the other services play are all, from our point of view, it's like the deal sizes are much smaller for us to look at. And if there is something which is, as I mentioned there in the panel also, what we look for is actually like whether the thing can scale up and whether there is a team is there to actually take them to the next level. And we feel that there is a big shortage in the sector, in the education sector currently.
Interesting.
And the valuations are anyway, it's over the roof.
Platform kind of plays in the education sector. We look at the similar kind of plays for the road also. Like, Actors recently formed a, JV Tata Realty Fund. But we expect, IDFC Private Equity in near future kind of looking at those kind of strategic ventures.
Interesting question. Because the platform play is something which we created when we did the first deal. When we did the GMR Energy, we created it as a holding company. The investment required is only for one particular asset. But we felt that the best play to do in infrastructure is to actually aggregate assets and create a combination of some growth investment rather than actually an early stage project investment. So that's how the platform theory has been created by us in 2003, and we replicated in L&T, in L&T Infra Holdco. And we did that in Ashoka Buildcon. If you look at in road sector, we have done L&T, we did Ashoka Buildcon. So both Ashoka and L&T happened somewhere around 2005, 2006. It took about 5 years for us to create the next one, which is actually the GVR now, GVR Infra. So we believe in the platform story, but as I mentioned to you, we are not that much excited in creating only an asset holdco, which is aggregation of few SPVs, various projects underneath one asset holdco. That, according to us, is something which is like it needs to attract a different type of an investor. People who are long-term investors looking for steady-state cash flows, and so that is a different type of set of investors, like probably someone like an SBI, Macquarie, 3i, and other who are infra focused. And we guys are actually a private equity investor in the infrastructure space. So what the type of thing which we are looking at is like a combination. Someone who can actually do those projects, EPC work for the same SPVs too. So that's the reason for going and investing in GVR Infra.
Often you hear from all the PE guys that kind of deal making has become very difficult now, and especially for various reasons that valuations are very high. Do you kind of feel the same way, that deal making is indeed very difficult?
I do. We do feel that there is deal making is actually a little bit of a challenging, because everybody knows that there are far too many funds which are there in India currently, and in terms of opportunities, I would say that the same set of opportunities everybody is running behind, and there is a herd mentality always. Everyone runs towards power, then everyone runs towards education. So yes, this is a typical challenge, but how do we address the challenge? One is like, we are in this business for the last 8 years, so IDFC Private Equity is a name which actually like the banking community is typically is aware of. Most important thing is, more than the banking, I would say that the promoters are aware of. If there is anyone operating in the space which we are in, everybody is aware that IDFC Private Equity is one long-term investor who has actually partnered with some marquee names over the period of last 8 years. We've invested in about nearly 31 companies, 26 relationship. So it's like today we are someone, everybody knows that there is an advantage of actually being a part of this platform. So we do get actually a lot of walk-in deals that way. Promoters directly approaching us, or we would actually like, we roam around and then actually say, this is the sector which we want to focus in. We'll scan the entire sector. We go and meet various promoters ourselves, and then trying to see is it something which we can create a transaction out there. So it requires a lot of patience. And if you look at it in the last 2 years, I would say the last 3 years, the last deal is the one which is we did outside our existing relationship. So it normally takes some time. Otherwise, we keep reinvesting into, because we have a big portfolio now that we can actually like back the same group entrepreneur into the other ventures of the same. We invested twice in GMR, in their energy asset, in their airport asset. Now we've invested in Manipal on the education as well as on the healthcare. So we invested in QPO and took them to do 3 rounds of transaction with them.
Have you divested in QPO?
No, we're still holding on.
Okay. In terms of exits, what are kind of plans that you have?
In terms of exits, we had a fantastic year last year. We had about 8 liquidity events, combination of exit, partial exit, or an IPO. And we had 2 fantastic IPOs last year, PowerPort and Ashoka Buildcon. We brought some 2 very interesting companies to the public. And so we had a great run last year. And this year, we're setting ourselves a target for about nearly 3 to 4 interesting companies to get an exit out. Mostly it will be liquidity events, couple of IPOs, some trade sale.
How much have you invested out of? How much of dry power are you like sitting on? And also, like, when you're planning to raise?
That IDFC Private Equity manages 3 funds so far. We're already managing 3 funds.
I meant to follow on.
You follow. So it's totally about $1.3 billion, of which the third fund is about it's about $650 million fund. Of the $650 million fund, we have invested about nearly, it's 50% mark, and we still have 50% powder dry. So we have some time away to go to the market.
Okay. Like, last question, any kind of trends that you're seeing in like deal making right now? Give us a sense there.
I don't think there's anything specific trend emerging that way. As usual, it's like we discussed about the sectors which are hot. So the best advice is actually stay away from that, because if the sector is too hot, better actually stay away. I would say that in terms of trend, I would say that like if you look at in terms of PE deal closures, I think probably you can look into your own database, and I think predominantly most of these PE transactions are intermediated by small boutique firms rather than bulge bracket investment banks. So that way, like the boutique firms have specific sector focus or regional focus, and they were able to actually source transaction, and they were able to, for this type of, lot of promoters requires a lot of hand holding, and to mature enough to work to actually attract a PE investment. And I think they are doing the small investment banks are doing a fantastic job on that. So that I think we could see a trend, and that I think that's the way. I think this market needs to get. India is a very big market, and which is like very regional. I expect a emergence of a lot of regional investment banks, strong forte in some specific sectors or in the region, and able to intermediate this market. That's what I'd say.
Okay. Thank you, Shyam. Thank you so much for talking to us, sir.